Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to a new live stream. How's it going? I hope everything is great. Well, today we're going to learn 10 common false cognates. We will talk about them. We will see some examples. We'll see how to use certain words in Spanish. And if you don't know what cognates are, don't worry about that. We're gonna explain that in a few seconds. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. I want to give a big shout out to the Cafecito members, to our Cafecito members, Ralph Marquez, Brianna Lee, Ruby Brockenberry, Christopher Michael, William Lopez, David Beaver, KS. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. El cafecito está delicioso. Muchas gracias. If you want me to give you a shout out and for more perks, please, you can get a membership on this channel. And if you want to check that out, you can click on the join button down below. It's a very easy and cheap way to support this channel. Essentially, you're just buying me a cup of coffee every month. So the membership is less than $3. So that's something really good. And there's some perks when getting it. So when getting the membership. If you have time and if you can't, please check that out. Thank you again, Cafecito members. Remember that I am live streaming. So if you want to ask any questions about what we're going to learn, if you want to say hola to me, or to everyone who's present, please use the live chat. The only thing you gotta do is you gotta be a subscriber. Remember, subscribing to YouTube channels is free. So if you want to use the live chat, just click on that subscribe button. Okay, I see KS is in the house. Welcome, KS. ¿Cómo va tu noche? Mi noche va muy bien, todo en orden, todo correcto. Estoy lista para hablar acerca del español. Hola, Ruby Brockenberry. Hello, hola. ¿Cómo estás? Espero que estés muy bien. Sea of Platitudes, welcome. Hola. Hola, astronauta de azúcar. Tus clases nunca son una decepción. Ya estoy pensando en la lección. Awesome. Welcome, guys. Thank you for your messages. That's pretty cool. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's get started. We're going to talk about only 10 false cognates, but we can continue. We can learn more in the future, so don't worry about that. And let's just talk about some common ones today. False cognates. What are these things? What are we talking about? Well, cognates are, or false cognates in this situation. Well, it's a word in one language that is similar in form or sound to a word in another language, but has a different meaning. So essentially, words that look the same, you might think they're pronounced the same. We're talking about different languages too. The only difference, even though they look the same, they have different meanings. Okay, so they're not the same. They're false cognates. They're false friends. So, for example, we can see Spanish. In Spanish, burro means donkey. Okay, and in Italian, burro means butter. So even though they seem the same, this word right here and this word right here, in Spanish, burro means donkey. In Italian, burro means butter. So that's a false cognate, burro. It has different meanings in different languages, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. It also says that it's not etymologically related. Okay? So burro, even though they look the same, they have different meanings. Those two words in Spanish and in Italian. So very, very simple. And it's good to talk about this because you might say something in Spanish that you think means something else. But we got to be careful with that. Today, we're going to talk about certain words that look like something, but they're not that. Their meanings are different. Okay, the first one, guys. The first one is advertencia. Advertencia. Advertencia means a warning, okay? A warning. So advertencia looks like we're saying something like advertisement. You know, this word is confused with the English word advertisement or advertisement. I think that's in the UK, they call it advertisement. Something like that. The pronunciation is a bit different. It's quite interesting. But advertisement, advertencia, advertencia. In Spanish, it means a warning. Okay? We're not talking about ads here. We're not talking about that at all. Now, let's look at some examples. Well, we're going to look at one example using advertencia, and we're going to talk about a different word that means actually advertisement or ad, okay? Let's read this. Es la última advertencia que te hago. Es la última advertencia que te hago. Remember, the V sound in Spanish is similar to the B sound. B as in bell. Advertencia. Advertencia. Okay. So what does this phrase mean? It's the last warning I give you. Wow. Okay. So if you don't know the meaning of advertencia, you might think, okay, it's the last advertisement that you give me. What are we talking about here? It can be confusing. I know. Let's break this down. Es la última. It's the last. Es, remember, we don't use pronouns all the time in Spanish. So, es, it's. That's what it means. La, the. Última, last. What's the last? The last what? Advertencia. Warning. ¿Qué te hago? In this situation, hacer advertencias, that is similar to saying giving warnings, okay? Hacer, we use hacer. This hago means, comes from the verb hacer, okay? So it's not the same in English and in Spanish. In Spanish, you give a warning. In English, you give a warning. In Spanish, you pretty much do or make warnings, okay? So that's why we're using the verb hacer. Hacer una advertencia. Give one warning, okay? Or a warning. So that's very interesting to know how advertencia works, you know, what verbs you need or what verb you need. So, ¿qué te hago in this situation is similar to saying, I give you, okay? Even though literally it makes not much sense. If you translate word by word, that doesn't make sense. But remember, it's not a good idea to translate languages. It's a good idea to understand and learn languages. Okay. So, advertencia means a warning. Remember that. Now, if you want to say advertisement in Spanish, you will use the word anuncio. Anuncio. Okay? It depends what kind of ads. You know, maybe we're talking about TV ads or YouTube ads, or ads on, I don't know, on a magazine, a newspaper, right? What are we talking about? But a general term is anuncio, okay? Anuncio. For TV ads, usually people say comercial. It's it's weird, right? But a general term is anuncio. Anuncio. El anuncio. Remember, let me tell you, this is a feminine noun, la advertencia. Anuncio is a masculine noun and it means advertisement. El anuncio, advertisement. Let's look at an example. El anuncio es muy largo. El anuncio es muy largo. The ad is very long. El anuncio, the ad, is muy, remember this one, this is a good Spanish word, an essential one, essential Spanish word, very, muy, very, largo, long, okay, largo, long, and we're saying largo because anuncio is masculine. If it was a feminine noun, then we will have to say larga. Remember that. El anuncio means advertisement or just an ad. It's just you referring to an ad. And remember, advertencia means warning, a warning. Anuncio means advertisement. So that is interesting to know. That was the first false cognate. So it's good. It's good. Hello, Chris Martin. Welcome. Right, KS. Thanks for sharing. I know it's like, even though, American English and British English are a bit different, essentially you understand what people from the UK say, right? There's just little details here and there. Same with, the Spanish spoken in Latin America and the Spanish spoken in Spain. Even though they have small differences, you can still understand. I mean, if you know Spanish, you can understand very well people from Spain and people from Latin America. So yeah, don't worry too much about that. Honestly, I know some people worry a lot about, oh my God, what Spanish, what kind of Spanish should I learn? Spanish from Colombia, Spanish from Mexico, Spanish from Spain. I mean, in general, Spanish is, understood in all the Spanish world. So it's up to you, of course, but don't worry too much about that. Okay, cognate, false cognate number 2, actual, actual, actual. Now, this word means current, something current. And this word is confused with, with the word actual, okay? They both of the words look the same. Actual, actual. Different pronunciation. The one in Spanish means current. The one in English means actual. I mean, actual means actual, right? So it's different. Current from actual, both are different, right? So let's look at one example. Esta es mi dirección actual. Esta es mi dirección actual. This means this is my current address. Okay? Current address. Esta, remember? Well, let's break this down. Esta means this. Es, is, mi, my, dirección, address, actual, current, okay? So, esta es mi dirección actual. This is my current address. Now, if you want to say actual in Spanish, then you need the word real. I mean, real. Real. Sorry, it's the same spelling too. There is an English word, the English word real. So I had a brain fart, sorry. Real is very similar to the English word actual. Okay, real. It sounds like we're talking about royalty or something like that. In Spanish, real also means it's related to that term, royal, but it also means actual, real. For example, el número real es mucho mayor. El número real es mucho mayor. This means the actual number is much higher. Okay. Interesting. Now, let's break this down. El número means the number. The number. Real, actual, is, mucho, much, mayor, higher. In this situation, when talking about numbers, if you want to say a higher number, you need to say un número mayor. Mayor, when talking about age and numbers in general. If you say mayor and refer to age, then you're saying older, okay? When you talk about numbers, you're talking about higher numbers, okay? So that's why we need mayor. El número real es mucho mayor. The actual number is much higher. So if you say el número actual, right? Instead of saying real, if you say el número actual es mucho mayor, you're just saying the current number is much higher. So you're not saying about something that is a fact, real, actual. You're talking about current, right? When saying actual, just remember that. Actual can be a false cognate. Actual means current. It doesn't mean actual. So remember that. If you want to say actual, then you gotta say real. There's more words that can be similar to actual, but an easy one is real. Okay? Real. Excellent. Now the next false cognate is en absoluto. En absoluto. This means not at all. Not at all. Okay? Not at all. Ugh, not at all. And this one can be confused with the word absolutely. This one right here. Absolutely. Or absolutely. Yes. Like as an expression, it means not at all. It's quite different. Not at all. Absolutely. Quite different. Now, let's look at an example. No me preocupa en absoluto. No me preocupa en absoluto. This means I'm not worried at all. Okay? It doesn't mean I'm not worried absolutely. No. It means I'm not worried at all. Okay? So just remember that. Some Spanish speakers say en lo absoluto, and that's correct. It means the same thing. Not at all. But you can say en absoluto or en lo absoluto. Both mean the same thing. Not at all. Now, if you want to say absolutely in Spanish, you gotta say absolutamente. Okay? Absolutamente is similar to absoluto, but it's a bit longer, right? It's a longer word. Absolutamente. 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 It's a long word. You need to practice this one. The pronunciation for sure. This means absolutely. For example, lo saben absolutamente todos. Lo saben absolutamente todos. This means absolutely everyone knows it. Okay? So I forgot to break down this phrase up here. Let's break down the examples. No me preocupa means I'm not worried. Okay? No me preocupa. Preocupar is a great verb to learn. It means to worry. Preocupar. Okay? When you say no me preocupa, I'm not worried. Okay? That's what it means. En absoluto, at all. Not at all. Not at all. Remember, in Spanish, we like to say no. Sometimes we have double negation. But in this situation, just because en absoluto means not at all, when you have no and you have this, it's like saying not at all. Same thing, we just add the word no. Okay? Because if you say me preocupa en absoluto, doesn't make sense. You kind of need no there, a double negation. You know, you're saying no twice. you're being negative twice in Spanish. Okay, so the next example. Lo saben, lo saben. We're technically saying ellos lo saben. Remember, we don't use personal pronouns all the time. I say this a lot, but it's true. And when you say lo saben, it's like saying ellos lo saben. So is that similar to saying knows it, or everyone knows it? You can also say todos lo saben. We have todos here. So lo saben, todos lo saben. It doesn't make sense if we have todos lo saben. That's correct in Spanish, but when using, in this case, absolutamente, you kind of need this structure. Lo saben absolutamente todos. Okay, so that's correct. Remember, in Spanish, the placement of words can be very flexible. You got to be careful, though. You got to be careful because sometimes you can, make a mistake and it makes no sense. It comes with practice. You just need to practice that. But if you have todos lo saben absolutamente, that doesn't make sense. So you need lo saben and then absolutamente todos. Or you can say todos absolutamente lo saben. So you're kind of placing absolutamente in the middle there. Okay? Absolutamente, absolutely. Everyone knows it. Todos lo saben. Okay, so that's quite interesting how this phrase is the way it is, how the structure is. But just put that absolutamente in the middle of these two. Lo saben absolutamente todos. The two, this part and this part, right? Just this is in the middle. Or you can say todos absolutamente lo saben. Okay, that also works. Now, remember, en absoluto means not at all. Okay, not at all. It doesn't mean absolutely. If you want to say absolutely, you can say absolutamente. That's important. That's important. Okay, do you guys have any questions? Hello, Naylon. Welcome. Yes, In English, mayor, that's another, it could be another false cognate. Mayor and mayor, right? Mayor, even though it's the same spelling, mayor in English means alcalde, and mayor in Spanish means higher, older. Yes. Great example, que yes. René, hola. Yeah, en absoluto, para nada, both mean the same thing. Yes. They both mean the same. Great. Okay. Now the next one, carpeta. Carpeta. Let's talk about carpeta. I actually, when I was learning English, this got me like confused so much because I used to call binders carpets, but it's not it's not the same. It's not the same. Carpeta means binder. Carpeta that word looks like you're talking about a carpet. Carpeta, carpet. Yeah, I get it. It's very similar. But carpeta, la carpeta, this is a feminine noun. La carpeta means binder. Okay, just a binder. Just as simple as that. Let's look at an example. Compremos 10 carpetas. Compremos 10 carpetas. This means let's buy 10 binders. Okay, so if someone tells you compremos 10 carpetas, and if you think that carpetas means carpet, then that's gonna be a problem. You're gonna buy 10 different carpets, and that's not a good idea. That can be very expensive. The person means binders. Compremos 10 carpetas. Compremos means let's buy. Okay, let's buy. Compremos. This this comes from the verb comprar. Comprar, to buy. When you say compremos, that means let's buy 10 carpetas, binders. Okay, so that's very simple. Now, if you want to say carpet in Spanish, then you need alfombra. This is the word you need. La alfombra. It's a feminine noun as well. And if you look at the two words, alfombra, carpet, they don't look alike. They look very different. But if you want to say carpet in Spanish, you need la alfombra. La alfombra. Okay? So, an example. La casa tiene una alfombra hermosa. La casa tiene una alfombra hermosa. Okay. This means the house has a beautiful carpet. Now, let's break this down. La casa, you know what this means. La casa, the house, tiene, has, una, a, alfombra, carpet, hermosa, beautiful. Okay? La casa tiene una alfombra hermosa. Remember, carpeta means binder and alfombra means carpet. So don't get confused. Okay. The next false cognate is soportar. Soportar. Oh my goodness. Soportar sounds like you're saying support. But actually, soportar means to put up with, okay? Or to stand somebody, okay? So it's very different. Soportar doesn't mean to support or support. No. Totally different. For example, no te soporto. No te soporto. Okay? This is a common phrase that people say when they're very annoyed by someone. So if you hear this means I can't stand you. Okay? I can't stand you. So soportar has two meanings: to put up with, a situation, or to stand somebody. When you say no te soporto, that means I can't stand you, and you're talking about a person. No, in this situation, it means I can't. No. Te, this is a pronoun, means you in this situation. Soporto, stand. Okay? So I know literally we're not translating word by word, because I can't, it will be like saying no puedo. Okay? No puedo. You could have it here, no puedo, but then you have to change the rest. Soportarte. No puedo soportarte. That changes. Okay? Soportarte. No puedo soportarte. And this means I can't stand you as well. Okay? But an easier way to say the same thing is no te soporto. Okay? It's shorter, easier to say, especially if you're learning Spanish, and it's a common expression that people say. That means I can't stand you. Okay? So this is what it means. It doesn't mean support. It's funny. It's quite funny. The next one, if you want to say support in Spanish, especially to support, then you need the word apoyo. Apoyar. Apoyo is support. Apoyar is the verb, and that means to support. Okay? To support. If you want to say support only, apoyo. Okay? Apoyo. And this is a noun. If you want to say to support, then you need apoyar. No, not soportar. Apoyar. Apoyar, to support. Okay? For example, mis amigos me apoyan. Mis amigos me apoyan. This means my friends support me. Okay? They support me. They're not annoyed by me. They support me. Okay? So let's break this down. My amigos, friends, me, in this case me, apoyan, support. Okay? Support. Mis amigos me apoyan. My friends support me. Okay, just remember once again, soportar means to put up with, to stand somebody, and don't confuse it with the word support or to support, because if you want to say that in Spanish, then you need the verb apoyar, to support, or apoyo if you want to just say support. Okay? Let me just add it here. Means support. Okay? And yeah, that's something important to remember. Okay, the next cognate, false cognate. This one is I think the main example when talking about false cognates. For sure. Awesome. Yes. Alfombrilla de ratón, mousepad. Yes, that's correct. Mousepad. Puedes hacer una lección sobre frases en español y cómo hacer frases en español. I think I have a lesson about that already. Okay, yes. But we can check that out for sure in the future to just have a more updated lesson for sure. El apoyo moral es bueno. Yeah, I agree. Thanks, KS, for sharing, and also Sea of Platitudes. Okay, now let's talk about embarasada. Embarasada. Embarasada means pregnant, okay? It doesn't mean embarrassed. No. Nope. Embarazada means pregnant, not embarrassed. So be careful when using this word. Let's look at an example of how to use embarazada correctly. María está embarazada. María está embarazada. This means Maria is pregnant. Okay, Maria means, obviously, that's a name. Maria. Esta is embarazada, pregnant. Okay, embarazada, pregnant. If you want to say embarrassed, then you gotta use the word avergonzado. Avergonzado. This means embarrassed, okay? For example, me siento avergonzada. Avergonzada is the feminine form of avergonzado. Avergonzada feminine, avergonzado masculine, okay? And this means I feel embarrassed. Embarrassed. Oops, I have 2 A's here. Okay. Embarrassed. Okay. Me siento, I feel avergonzada, embarrassed. Okay. So if you say me siento embarazada, you're saying I feel pregnant. If you change this to embarazada. Okay. Me siento embarazada. I feel pregnant. So that's what this means. Okay, so be careful with that, because if you say that to someone, the person is going to think that you're pregnant. Okay, so remember, the word you need is avergonzado or avergonzada. This word can also be plural, so you can say avergonzados or avergonzadas. Okay, plural. Just add the letter S. And this doesn't work like that. Avergonzadas. Avergonzados. Okay? So remember that, guys. This is an important one. You don't want to think, people think that you are, pregnant. If you are actually embarrassed. So be careful. Oops, that's correct. Okay. Oh boy. Oops, what am I doing here? I don't know. Okay, the next one, guys. The next one is, we're almost done. We have 4 more words, and that's it. 4 more false cognates. So the next one is compromiso. Compromiso. This means commitment, okay? Commitment. Some people might confuse it with the word to compromise. Okay, or compromise. Compromiso means commitment. It doesn't mean to compromise or compromise. You know, I don't know why I have this example here. Let me just add the example here for you. Tengo varios compromisos. Okay. El compromiso, also remember, el compromiso, that is masculine. Commitment or the commitment. If I say tengo varios compromisos, this means I have many commitments. Okay, so you have many things, many commitments, whatever they are, but we're talking about commitments. We're not talking about compromising something or to compromise something. So be careful with that. Compromiso, they look the same. Compromise, compromiso, right? But they do not mean the same thing. If you want to say to compromise in Spanish, then you need the verb comprometer. Comprometer, to compromise. To compromise can mean different things. They can be, this verb can be used in different situations. But in Spanish, comprometer is very similar to compromise. Okay? For example, no comprometas tus principios. No comprometas tus principios para ser aceptado. No comprometas tus principios para ser aceptado. And this means do not compromise your principles to be accepted. Okay? No comprometas means don't compromise or do not compromise. No comprometas, you can see the verb right there, the one that we need to say do not compromise. No comprometas, do not compromise. Tus principios, your principios, principles, para, to, ser, be, aceptado, accepted. Okay? Once again, no comprometas tus principios para ser aceptado. Do not compromise your principles to be accepted. Interesting. If you want to say, commitment, then you need the word compromiso, el compromiso. If you want to say to compromise, then you need the verb comprometer. Okay, comprometer. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Los hombres no cometen el error de que estoy embarazada si querías avergonzar. Okay, yeah, if a guy says, or a man says, estoy embarazada, so that guy is saying, I'm pregnant, which that would be a bit odd, but it's still, you need to use the correct word if you want to say embarrassed. Either, if you're a guy or a girl, or anybody really, they just need to use the correct word. Mr. 7X, welcome. Welcome. Okay, the next one is quite interesting. We're going to talk about el dinero. El dinero, that means money. Money, plata. Also, that's a different way to say dinero in Spanish. Plata, just like saying silver. La plata. That's something interesting there. La plata, el dinero. There's many more names, but those are very common. Dinero is a more general term. Plata is more like slang, right? La plata, the silver, for some reason. That means money, as an expression. And el dinero is just the general formal term, something that anybody knows for sure. La plata, slang words and expressions sometimes it's better to use them with friends, among friends. But if you want to be a bit more formal, less casual, then you need the term el dinero, or more general terms. Okay, el dinero means money, 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 money. And it looks like you're saying dinner. I mean, the word looks like dinner, right? El dinero. El dinero doesn't mean dinner. It means money. Okay, for example, no tengo dinero. No tengo dinero. This means I don't have money. Okay? No tengo, I don't have. It's like saying yo no tengo. Remember? We don't need personal pronouns all the time. Yo no tengo, I don't have, or no tengo. And then we have dinero. Dinero, you know what that means. Money. Okay. If you don't know anything about this word, it might sound, when someone says no tengo dinero, it might sound that they're talking about dinner. I don't have dinner, which it makes no sense, right? We're not talking about dinner. We're talking about money. No tengo dinero. I don't have money. Now, if you want to say dinner in Spanish, then you need the word cena. La cena. By the way, it's a feminine noun. La cena. Dinner or supper. Okay? So it's just a meal that is eaten at night, during evening, night. For example, I can say, está lista la cena. Está lista la cena. This means dinner's ready. Okay? If you say, está lista la dinero, no. No, it doesn't make sense. You need cena. Está lista la cena. Dinner is ready. So don't forget that dinero means money. Okay? Not dinner, money. El dinero or dinero, right? And la cena or cena means dinner or supper. I know. It's quite funny, huh? Welcome, El Jorge. Tengo dinero. That's good. I mean, it's important to have some money, of course, because I don't know, society works that way. You need money to pay your bills, to pay for pretty much anything, your food and whatnot. So el dinero es necesario. Money is necessary, sadly, but it's necessary. Okay. Estamos listos para ir a la cena. Great example, El Jorge. Mr. Stephen X scratches head. Why? What's happening? Remember, you can ask questions, guys. Use the live chat for that. If you have any questions about what we're learning, please just ask. Don't be shy. Okay. Chocar. This is the next one. Chocar. Chocar. This means to crash. Okay? It doesn't mean to choke or choke, right? Even though the word looks similar, chocar, it doesn't mean choke or to choke. Nope. No, forget about it. No. It means to crash. Okay, to crash. For example, I can say, Miguel chocó su carro. Miguel chocó su carro. This means Miguel crashed his car. Okay? Miguel chocó, crashed. Su, his. Carro, car. Okay? Miguel chocó su carro. We're not saying Miguel choked his car. We're saying Miguel crashed his car. Okay? So just remember that. Chocar means to crash. If you want to say to choke in Spanish, then you need the verb ahogar. Ahogar. Remember, the H letter in Spanish is mute, no sound. Ahogar, ahogar, to choke. For example, mastica bien, no te vayas a ahogar. A ahogar, okay? So you need a little pause in between these two words. Mastica bien, no te vayas a ahogar, okay? This means chew well, don't choke, okay? Mastica bien means chew well. It's a command. You're telling someone to chew well. Mastica bien. Mastica, chew. Chew. Masticar means to chew. That's a very good verb as well. Bien in this situation means well. Mastica bien. Chew well. No te vayas a ahogar. Don't choke. Now, this part here, no te vayas a, no te vayas a. This phrase right here, just let me erase this part so you don't get confused. This part here, no te vayas a, is used with this verb very often, okay? No te vayas a ahogar. This means don't choke, or I don't want you to choke, okay? No te vayas a. Just remember that. If someone says, me voy a ahogar, that means I'm going to choke. Let me just give you an example here, so you know why we're using no te vayas a. If I say, me voy a ahogar, that means I'm going to choke, right? That's what this means. Or I'm going to choke. Me voy a. It's weird because we're using ir for some reason with this verb, but it's a common expression, and people say it often, you know, me voy a ahogar, or you can say, no me voy a ahogar, I'm not going to choke, okay? So just remember this phrase, me voy a, hang on, ir a, okay? Or in this situation, no te vayas a ahogar, don't choke. But essentially this is used often with ahogar. And I mean this as in the verb ir. This comes from the verb ir, vayas, ir. And then we have a pronoun here, te vayas a, preposition. And in this situation, we have no, as in don't, okay? So, very interesting. Very interesting. So you need, a pronoun, the verb ir, conjugated, of course, and then the preposition a. Ir a. Okay? So you need to know the conjugation of the verb ir. Mastica bien, no te vayas a ahogar. Chew well, don't choke. Now, remember, chocar means to crush. It doesn't mean to choke. And if you want to say to choke, then you need ahogar in Spanish. Okay? And remember the phrase, no te vayas a. It's usually, as I said before, it's very commonly used. So if you don't want to worry about learning or understanding the phrase, just remember the phrase, no te vayas a, and then ahogar, don't choke. Interesting. Oh, man. Let me know if you have questions, guys. The last false cognate is simpatico. Okay, Mr. Steven X. Why doesn't está lista la dinero make sense? The money's ready. I don't know. It sounds like you made the money somehow. Unless you have it like if you're doing a transaction, if you're talking about transactions maybe, but it will be more like el dinero está listo, but it's not a common phrase to say, to be honest with you. The money's ready. I don't know. El dinero está listo. That could be something that you can say, but I don't know. It sounds odd to me. It's grammatically correct though, but you gotta say el dinero está listo. Remember, el dinero is masculine. El Jorge, cuando estés comiendo siempre mastica bien y no lo hagas en la mesa. Okay, that I'm a bit confused by that. Cuando estés comiendo, when you're eating, siempre, always, mastica bien, chew well. Y no lo hagas en la mesa, and don't do it at the table. I'm confused, but it's interesting. Thank you for sharing, El Jorge. Interesting. Okay, now, simpático. Simpático is an adjective, and it means likable or nice. When someone is likable or nice, it doesn't mean sympathetic. Okay, they look similar. Simpático, sympathetic. No. Simpático means likable, nice. For example, eres muy simpático. Eres muy simpático. Remember the accent mark right here? Oops, right here. I don't have much space, but yes, that's an accent mark. Remember that. Eres muy simpático. You're very nice. That's what it means. You're very nice. Obviously, you can make it feminine. Eres muy simpática. You're very nice, right? The masculine form is simpático. Also, it can be plural. It will be son muy simpáticos. You're very nice. Okay, you're saying this to a group of people, not only one person. You're very nice. Son muy simpáticos. If you're saying that to one person, eres muy simpático. You're very nice. It's like saying tú eres muy simpático. Okay, so simpático doesn't mean sympathetic. It means likable or nice. Now, if you want to say sympathetic in Spanish, then you need the word comprensivo. Oops, I don't know why it changed the color. This changed the color. One sec. Okay, comprensivo. 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 Comprensivo means sympathetic understanding. Okay? For example, él fue muy comprensivo. Okay, comprensivo con mi problema. Él fue muy comprensivo con mi problema. This means he was very sympathetic to my problem. Okay, maybe you told a friend, I don't know, a problem that you were having, and the friend had the same problem in the past. So then your friend is very sympathetic to your problem. Okay? Él fue muy comprensivo con mi problema. He was very sympathetic to my problem. Okay. Él fue means he was muy, you know what this means? Very comprensivo, sympathetic con, in this situation, to me, my problem. Remember, problema is masculine. It's a masculine noun. El problema. It's not la problema. It's el problema. Okay? Excellent. So if you want to say sympathetic in Spanish, then you need the word comprensivo. Comprensivo. Someone sympathetic, understanding. If you want to say someone is likable or nice, then you need simpatico. Okay? You don't need sympathetic. Or I mean, yeah, sympathetic and simpatico are not the same. Simpatico means likable or nice. Sympathetic, understanding is comprensivo. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. Of course, comprensivo is masculine, comprensiva is feminine, and also it can be plural, comprensivos or comprensivas. Okay? So this is an adjective. Adjectives usually can be feminine, masculine, and plural. Okay? Usually there are some adjectives that don't have any gender, grammatical gender. Usually the ones that end in E, the letter E, but they can be plural. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? By the way, eres muy simpático. Eres, you are, muy, you know this word, we said it a lot today. Muy, very, simpático, nice, or likable. Okay? Excellent. Please let me know if you have any questions, and if not, then that would be it. Okay, let's see. El Jorge asks, is comprensivo masculine or feminine? Comprensivo is masculine. Comprensiva, feminine. Great question. Que yes, no hay problema. No hay problema. A lot of people say no problemo. No problemo. I think that's a common thing that some English speakers say, no problemo. But the actual phrase is no hay problema, just like KS has it. Yeah, correct, KS. Thank you for sharing. Lindsay, mi cerebro siempre choca cuando trato de estudiar el tiempo subjuntivo. Necesito el apoyo emocional con el subjuntivo. Yeah, it can be challenging for sure. Great example, Lindsay. Thank you for sharing. Sea of Platitudes. ¿Podría casual estar en esta lista, or casual. En América Latina podría no ser un falso cognado. Well, casual, I think that's a cognate. Cognates, usually like cognates without the false. Cognates are actually words that look similar and they mean the same thing. So it's the opposite of false cognates. So casual, I think, can be a cognate. It depends on the situation. If you're talking about something informal, then casual and casual can be the same meaning, right? And but casual can be used in different ways in Spanish, but it means one of the meanings of casual is also casual. Okay, so it's technically a cognate. Thank you for asking, Sea of Platitudes. Lindsay, gracias. Feliz atrasado día de mujeres y buenas noches. Thank you so much, Lindsay. That's awesome. Yeah, it was like a few days ago. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much, Lindsay. And remember that I live stream every Tuesday around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you don't want to miss any of my streams, you can subscribe and also activate the notification bell icon-y thing, the icon you can see next to the subscribe button. And please just activate all the notifications so YouTube notifies you every time I live stream. I also have a Spanish community on Discord. It's a Discord server where where we talk about Spanish. You guys can practice your Spanish. You can ask questions about Spanish. You can interact with others in Spanish and in English. So if you want to join that community, just click on the link down below. It says Discord, and then I have the link. Please read the rules before joining that server because it's free, but it's very important to follow the rules. If you like this stream rather, please give it a like. That helps me a lot. And also, if you get a chance, and if you can, of course, check out the Cafecito membership. There are different perks when getting that membership. So please just click on the join button down below. If you can, of course. No pressure. Okay. Kaya says, I use say to no problema. I realize the mistake now. I say no hay problema. Right. Yeah, no problema. I don't know why that became a thing. I don't know if it's from a movie or something like that. No problema. But yeah, no hay problema is the correct way to say there, like no problem. Okay? Maybe because no problem, no problema. Maybe. That's why. An O was added at the end. I'm not sure. It's interesting. It's interesting. If you guys know where that expression comes from, please share. No problema. Why? Why do some people say that in English? Okay. El Jorge, did you know that in Colombia they speak neutral Spanish over there? Actually, it's not neutral. Every country has an accent. And for example, I can tell, when I can tell who's Colombian just by the way they speak. So that means that it's not neutral. If their accent was neutral, then I will be like, where are you from? I don't know where you're from because your Spanish is neutral. But they do have an accent. Also, people from Mexico, also people from Spain, and within the countries, they also have different accents. So many more accents. So it's crazy. When we talk about neutral Spanish, it's like pretty much you don't know where that Spanish is from because it sounds very uniform. There is not like an accent, right? So yeah. Yeah. Chris knows hola y adiós. Okay, Chris, hola y adiós. Nanny Mom. Hi, Sugar. Today I came across the phrase por si acaso, and I thought it would be a great idea for a video. And then I saw that you did it as if you knew it. Wow, yeah. I'm actually releasing short videos. They're taken from the live streams. So you have the option of, hopefully you watch my streams, but if you want to learn something really quickly, like just a phrase, then you can just check out the quick Spanish lessons. And you can do both as well if you want. But thank you, Nanimo. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. No Problema was made popular from the Terminator movies. Really? I didn't know that. Terminator? I've watched those movies. No problem. Who said that? No problemo, though. Terminator? Arnold? It's interesting. Thank you for sharing, Chris. Bruce, I think the saying no problemo came from the movie Terminator 2. Okay, so Terminator 2. Interesting. So that was, I assume Arnold said that at some point. No problemo. And also hasta la vista. I remember that. Like that phrase hasta la vista. Arnold said that. Terminator said that. Hasta la vista, baby. That's such a great phrase. No problemo. Yeah, no problemo, it sounds a bit odd, but it makes sense if it's a phrase that it's a combination. It's like Spanglish, maybe. A little bit of English, a little bit of Spanish. That's fine. I don't mind it at all. But just in case, if you want to say how to say it in Spanish, no hay problema. Yeah, no problema. That's interesting. Okay, yes. In Miami, we have Cuban Spanish. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. The Cuban accent is really nice. El Jorge. Dios nos ama a todos. Okay. Interesting. Thank you, El Jorge. Yes, Terminator 2 for both phrases. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, guys. I had a blast. I love doing this. So thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, I'll see you next week, but try to practice these words because, they can be confusing. And you just need to practice just to really master every single word and just use them in correct situations in a good way, in a correct way. Okay, great. Take care. Thank you, Sea of Platitudes, and thank you all for being here. Take care. Have a lovely evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. Muchas gracias por ver este en vivo. Nos vemos a la próxima. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Ciao. Adios.